So let's go to our serverless, sorry, to our AWS account in the cloud. I'm using serverless all the time. Sorry about that. And the first thing, as you see, I'm already logged in. And the next thing that I do recommend if you are a new user creating your AWS account is after you create your account, the second thing that you need to do is create another user that probably has all the administrator access. And then you use that user instead of the root user. And in order to do that, once you are logged in as a root account, go to find services and you can type IAM, click on that one, and then go to users. You can click here or maybe here, and you will see the list of users that I have. I will create a new one. It will be similar like this one. So click on add user. Here I will put my name, Christian. And then this is very important. Access type, let's select this one, programmatic access. And then this one is in order to, if you want to have like a password, and the user can be able to basically change or update the password. This will create a auto-generated password, so that's okay. And then let me move this one a bit because it's overlapping my screen. Click on next. The second thing that you need to do is attach a policy to this user. So click on this one. And for this example, because probably we are going to do a lot of administrator things like creating Dynamo tables or creating things like that, I would recommend you to use administrator access, but be very careful about this because basically you are giving a lot of power to this user. But I will do that and then click next. In this step, you can just click next and then click on create user. So the next thing that this basically says that the user was created successfully, and then you can sign in using this console. Maybe you can copy this and save it somewhere else. And then you have here the user access key ID, and then the secret access key and the user password. So this is the first step. Let me download this information so I can log in. So let me copy this one. I will click close. And I think I was using my root account. So let me log out basically. And I will paste the new URL that I copy. And this is taking a couple of minutes. So this is my account name. It can be like this or it can be like a numeric. It doesn't matter. And then here I will type my username, and I will need to use my temporary password. Of course, I will change it after this. Oh, it's opening. Okay, it's opening numbers from macOS. So my temporary password is this one. Then sign in. And then I will copy my old password and then I will create a new password. And I will click confirm password change. And that's it. Now I'm using, let me just minimize that one. Now I'm using my administrator account and not my root account. That's one of the best recommendations that I can give you when you are working with AWS. And we already have this user already have administrator access, so that's okay. The next thing that we need to do once we have this is basically install AWS CLI. So if you go into the browser and type AWS CLI, and let's click this one, installing the AWS CLI. And we have a couple of options. There is version 1 and there is version 2. I will use the version 2 in this case. Let me click this one. And then let's see from where I can get the information. Change nodes, reference guide. Let me click AWS CLI version 2. Or probably, no, probably I just have to go here. Depending on your operating system, in my case, I will use macOS. And then let me go back, let me go down, sorry. Let me see what options I have. It seems like this is the way to go. And I have to wait like for the download of the APK of the package. And after that, we will be able to install follow the step in order to install the CLIs, AWS CLI. And this is very important because with this, basically, we will configure AWS CLI, so we will be able to deploy using serverless commands. So I will click here and I will just follow, continue. Of course, this will depend on the operating system that you are using. I will type my root user password. And I finish. So once that is done, let me go back to my project and let's go to view terminal. And here we have an integrated terminal from Visual Studio Code. And from here, the next command that you need to type is AWS configure. Hit enter. You can use whatever terminal you have. In this case, I'm using the one that is basically that comes from Visual Studio Code. So let's see, let's wait a bit. So after a couple of seconds, it's asking for my AWS Access Key ID. So that's why I have to go back to my AWS credentials from my user. This is my Access Key ID. And I will type it here. And then it's asking for my AWS secret access key. Let me copy this. I will type it there. And then my default region name, in this case will be Central 1. Default output, I will type text, and that's it. I don't know why this one is, there it is, much better. So we already set up our AWS configure account, and you can have profiles, but we can talk about later. And then the next thing that we can do is, for example, is type serverless info. And these commands come from the serverless framework that we globally install in our computer. As you can see, we are already using serverless commands. This is good. This is a good sign. In this case, this service doesn't exist in our account, and that's okay because we haven't deployed. So let's clear out this screen. And the command in order to deploy is very simple. You type serverless deploy, and then you specify the stage as I mentioned at the beginning, dev. If you don't specify the stage, it will basically grab the default that we define it here. So that's because of this like fallback that we have. So let's hit enter and see what happened. As you can see now is serverless framework is creating, is preparing everything in order to upload our project into our AWS account. At least everything is like zip, and then everything is compressed or zip, and then everything is pushed to AWS, and this will be probably stored in an S3 bucket with all the information and about the Lambda function that we created and all the services that we are creating using the serviceless YAML file. This can take a while. I think I will pause the video, and when it's finished, I will come back.